Hello everyone and welcome to the App Inventor quick demo guide on using variables. Variables are just things that hold information. They can hold a number, they can hold a text, they can even hold a list, which we'll find out in a later video. But I'm going to demonstrate variables being used to hold both numbers and text. So I'm just going to drag a label to the screen and I'm going to drag two buttons to the screen. Just for look's sake, I'm going to put the buttons inside of a horizontal arrangement so they'll be next to each other. And then I'm going to name button 2, I'm going to name it number. And then on button 1, I'm going to name it text. Oops. And then the label itself, we can leave that as label 1 since it's our only one. Let's change the text of the label to be, let's say, blank to start out with, but let's make the font size, I don't know, 40. Let's make it really big. But the text property I'm leaving blank because these buttons are going to populate that label component. And then I want to change the text for button, the number button, I want to change it to say number. And then I'm going to change the other one say text. Alright, so we have two buttons and an almost invisible label component. I'm going to click over to blocks, and basically we want two variables to start out with. So we're going to say initialize global. We're going to say my number, sure, and then my text. Oops, wow, what happened? So we have two variables, and we're going to initialize them the same way, except we use different blocks to assign them. So I went into text, and this is just a very simple text block, and then I'm going into math, and I'm getting the number block. Both of these are the very first option in text and in math. That's what they look like by themselves. And I just hooked them up right here. And I want to initialize that to, it can be any number I want to. So let's just say I want it to be 999. And then I want my text to say, hello world, just like that. So using the exact same blocks, I made a variable and I assigned it a number, and I made a variable and I assigned it text. So that sounds kind of confusing, but it works very, very similarly. They're in fact the same way. So I'm going to grab a number click block, number very first one, and then text click block. These are both buttons, and these will fire when you're actually clicking either the number block or the text block button. Excuse me. But basically, when I click the number button, I want to change the label to display the text. So we want to set label.text. We want to set the label component, the property text, or what is actually shown in the label. We want to set it to the number. So we'll say my number. So variables, get always gives you your value. So let's say my number, set to my number. And then very similarly, we're going to say set label.text again. But we want it to get the other global, we're going to get my text. And that is all we're going to do. Let's see how it runs. Alright, here's our app running, and we have that blank label field, and then we have number and text. If we click number, it shows 999 in the label, and then if I click text, it changes it just like that. So using the exact same way, I use two different variables, and I assign them different things, either a number or a text, or you'll find out later you can also use this same initialize block to initialize a list or other more complex things like that. But that was an introduction to variables. Thanks for watching.